Hey everyone, it's Welonz. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is right around the corner. Before jumping back into the FF7 world, I reviewed the story I've played and seen so far. If you're not familiar with my history of FF7, I haven't played the original games. I've played Remake, the Intermission DLC, and Crisis Core Reunion. I understand this is not the most typical playing order of these games. I mainly did it because the devs said they'd like new players to play Crisis Core anyway, so I did. Everything I'm going to be talking about today is going to be based off just the new remake games so far. And I don't have any grand theories on what's going to happen, but because so many things are happening in FF7 even just up until this point, I wanted to share and catch you up on where my brain is at after reviewing all that stuff. The two people I've spent the most time thinking about are probably Seph Roth and Aith. Seph Roth. What the heck is going on with him at all? Is he even actually alive? It sounds so stupid, but I'm honestly not 100% sure. He supposedly died 5 years ago as a war hero, but he has these present-day appearances that are all kind of dodgy and strange. Some are through Cloud's hallucinations, or stuff to do with number people. One thing I remember well as I was playing Remake was realizing that the number people seem to be connected to him in some way. Near the end of Remake, there's a part where, quote-unquote, Seph Roth shows up to kill President Shinra, but then he turns into Jenova Dreamweaver. And then we defeat Jenova Dreamweaver to find that it's actually a number person. And then another Seph Roth shows up. And finally we see that it's two number people who can both turn into Seph Roth? Yeah, that's a lot. What the heck does any of that mean? It looks like maybe it's some kind of hallucination ability the number people have. Or maybe is Seph Roth remote controlling these people to do his bidding somehow? One of the Avalanche members in Intermission mentions that the number people have Mako poisoning, and that's why they're all so groggy and weird. I don't know if that's just their guess or something factual. In that case, maybe Seph Roth is just controlling these people? If not, are they affiliated? Are they on the same side? So many questions. The only thing I know for sure is that they want a reunion, and they want it now. If we had to make a distinction, the Seph Roth that we see at the very end of Remake seems to be the real one, because it's the only one associated with black feathers floating down whenever he appears. But what does he want to do? What does he want to accomplish? He believes his mother is Jenova, which is some cosmic alien thing. He has ancient blood, and that to rule the planet is his birthright. But what does he want to do specifically? He wants to destroy this world? Or does he want to go to the Promised Land because that's what ancients can do, much like what Shinra wants? Things he says sounds like he wants destiny to be fulfilled. He wants people to follow the flow of destiny. But at the edge of creation, he also invites Cloud to defy destiny with him. Very cryptic guy. The part about having ancient blood. Throughout other parts of Remake, Aith is said to be the last living ancient, so what's going on here? Are there actually multiple ancients left, or is he wrong? I did notice a quick line in Crisis Core Reunion where Hojo seems to suggest that at some point, everyone thought that Jenova is an ancient, but she isn't actually, which could explain this inconsistency. Seph Roth thinks he has ancient blood, but he doesn't actually. In the Shinra presentation, it said that ancients were destroyed 2,000 years ago by a meteor. Red 13 calls Jenova the cataclysm from the stars. In Crisis Core, they say she was excavated from a 2,000-year-old rock layer. If Jenova isn't an ancient, then maybe she has more to do with the meteor part of the equation, which I feel like might relate back to the logo of the game. I'm not sure what it's of. It looks like a meteor and then there's a dot next to it, which could be Aerith's materia, which we'll talk about in a sec. Back to the stuff with the ancients. What's the importance of Seph Roth being an ancient or not? I don't know. Because clearly to me, at this point, Seph Roth is still super duper strong no matter what he is. We haven't gotten too much information about what ancients really can do yet. Speaking of ancient powers, Aith. She's a half-blooded ancient, I believe, and her biological mom died when she was really young. Maybe that's why she doesn't seem very confident in her ancient abilities. She says that even though Shinra wants her to bring them to the Promised Land, she can't. She has no idea how to do it. She also has some cool ancient materia thing that got brought up exactly one time when she met Cloud, but it's also good for nothing, because she doesn't know how to use it. By the way, I have no idea what she's trying to show him here. Is the orb inside her ribbons or something? There's nothing, we're not even seeing anything here. Clearly, she still knows a lot that she isn't sharing with the rest of the gang though. She immediately knew Jenova when we saw her in the Shinra test tubes. And with Seph Roth, she talks to Cloud about how, oh yeah, he's a hero who died in the war. But then when Cloud suggests that, oh, I think he's actually alive, she has a pretty peculiar reaction.
Oh, right.
And the camera's angled very deliberately to hide her eyes, so it feels like she might have always known that Seph Roth never died. She certainly didn't seem surprised to see him later on. Overall, she says a lot of things that sound like she has some access into what happens in the future. And from her perspective, it's not a good thing. That's why she says stuff like, "The future isn't set in stone, right?" Or, "Even if it is, it doesn't mean we should give up and try to change it." Which is a bit puzzling to me. Ancients are stewards of the planet. They guard the planet. This planet apparently has a set course, a set destiny. And the steward of the planet is actively trying to avoid it. I think this makes sense if the planet's doomed for destruction. But the vibes she gives me doesn't seem like much of a, "Oh my god guys, the planet's gonna die, we have to save it, let's change destiny." There's a lot of apprehension about that exact thing happening. If we succeed, if we win, we'll be changing ourselves. It doesn't sound like it's 100% a good thing. Or it could just be general anxiety about jumping into something brand new, something not foretold, which I imagine might be very scary for someone who can see into the future. I also wonder if there is a reason she's not being forthcoming, aside from keeping it as a mystery for the player. If she trusted the rest of the gang and shared her knowledge and worries, would it not be more helpful to solve our problems? But she doesn't do that. So there might be more to it. Maybe it's the kind of thing where if she says it out loud, then it'll come true for sure. Either way, the beginning of the story felt like it was more focused on us trying to get rid of the evil capitalist threat, Shinra. But by the end here, it feels like things are moving into a bigger planetary or even cosmic kind of scale. So those are the two main people I've been thinking a lot about. I still have a lot of questions and thoughts on things like Cloud's identity and Zack reappearing in Remake, even though in Crisis Core he died. But if we go into that, this video is never gonna come out because we don't have that kind of time! Rebirth comes out tomorrow! We'll call it a wrap here for now, and if you'd like, I'd love to see you join me with my playthrough of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, where we can continue talking and thinking about this as soon as my copy arrives in the mail. See you soon. Bye!